welcome to this special Tiny Pulpit Talk. We're in our virtual studio here, which is one of the ways to get together with folks. And we're so happy you're with us today. We are delighted to have our guest today, the Executive Director of the Truth Pregnancy Resource Center, Reverend Deneen Robinson. Hi, Deneen. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. Greetings, everyone.
Good. So tell everyone who doesn't know what the Truth Pregnancy Resource Center is.
Wow. So, Truth Pregnancy Resource Center is a place where folk are able to come and get information, resources, no matter where they are on their pregnancy journey. If they are looking for resources because they've realized that they're not prepared to be pregnant at this time. While abortion is illegal in Texas, we are able to provide people with resources to connect to other places in the United States where they can receive abortion care. If folk are pregnant but they want to parent and are having struggles, we are a place where they can get support, counseling, and connection to other things in the city that could help them successfully parent. If they don't want to be pregnant and are not prepared to parent, but want to put their little person up for adoption, we have agencies that match our mission, vision, and moral ethics in that their adoption is open and they are able to place their person with a single parent, a queer family, trans family, or a heterosexual family. We want to make sure that all the resources that we provide are inclusive in the way that we are inclusive as an organization.
And how long have you been operating?
Since April 26th,
Wow. That is so you're just past your 2 month
2 months.
mark.
Yes.
How does it feel?
Well, it feels good, but there's more pressure, I can admit, wanting to uh, create a space so that folk feel welcome when they come in here, and also wanting to get the word out so that we're able to increase the number of persons that we're able to help.
If someone was watching this, what's the best way to get the word out to their friends and family that might have people in their connections that might need your help?
Well, there are three things. They can let them know that we exist and provide our phone number to them. They can go to the website and connect through the website, or they can stop by our office and pick up some um, postcards that have been created to share basic information about who we are and provide that individual with what they need to contact us.
Great. We're going to put all of those things right below this, right in the description, the website, the phone number, and the address, so people can get in touch with you. I guess just I've known you for just a little while. What brought you to, or what gives you the passion for this work, for meeting people in this place in their life?
I was fortunate when I was 17 to have what I think is the ideal way to receive abortion care. My family has always been very religious, and in some places there is rigorous religion as a construct that guides the moral fabric of my family. And within that, my great aunt who raised me always made place for me to be my own self.
Mm.
And when she learned that I was pregnant, her response was very simple. We are not prepared to parent at this time. So she met with me and my partner, and she told him what his responsibility would be, which is to take me and pay for it and bring me back to her.
Yep.
And since I was in high school, she would find a place that could perform the procedure and make the appointment. And so there was no judgment. There was no conversation about my going to hell. There was nothing but love. And when I returned home after the procedure, she told my partner, "Okay, I got it from here." And she took me in. The bed was ready. She helped me deal with the aftermath of having an abortion, and it was such a non-event that I forgot
Yeah.
that I had it. So
Yeah.
there was nothing um about the experience that stained me in a negative way. And so when I started out on my journey of becoming a social worker, I've always believed that dignity is a non negotiable, and helping people make whatever decisions they need to make about their lives, and you not be the source of judgment, but simply freedom of thought and care, have been the ways that I have, embarked on my social work journey. Having reproductive justice as a framework to provide language to what I've always done has helped me so that I'm able to pass along to others this idea of being able to create safe and sacred spaces for people to work through the things that they need to work through. And my responsibility is to journey with them, not to in any way impede their process, but simply commit to being present and partnering with them and ensuring that they have dignity.
So, hearing all of this, the first thing that comes to my heart or on my mind is, I mean, that this sounds like also a call of your faith. And can you say something about being a religious person and what part of this comes from your faith or helped by your faith or informed by your faith?
Well, for me, I've always believed that no one is coerced into a relationship with the divine.
Mm,
You get to choose
hmm.
every step. And in turn, because the divine makes space for us to choose, I believe wholeheartedly that that is the one thing that we can consistently offer everyone, is the ability to make their choice.
Hmm.
And whatever consequences come with that, they are not ours to live out. We have the opportunity to provide support, to be a listening ear, to provide them with resources if necessary. But ultimately, every person gets to choose. And that is sacred for me.
So I know that you've mentioned your that faith and that idea of dignity, and you also mentioned reproductive justice.
Yes.
And in my circles, a lot of people use the word reproductive justice, and I always try to remind them, capital R, capital J. It has a meaning, it has a root, it has authors, it has mothers. Can you say something about reproductive justice for people who might have just learned that for the first time when I said that?
Sure. So, reproductive justice is a framework that was created in 1984 by a group of Black women who actually attended a meeting that was commandeered, created by, at the time, Miss Clinton. She was the wife of President Clinton. and she wanted to establish a response to the challenges around women, and I'm using the term women not to marginalize or put aside trans identified folk or non-binary identified folk, but at the time the term was women. And so she created this meeting in Chicago, and it was designed to lay out an agenda for reproductive health care across the nation. And these women who were there found that it was very narrow in its focus because it was primarily focused on abortion
Hmm.
and making sure that people had everything that they needed to access abortion care. And what these women did is they went to a hotel room and started really thinking through why does a person show up for an abortion? They show up for an abortion because they don't have the resources to parent. They don't have the support to parent. They want to be pregnant, but maybe there is a birth defect or some other kind of anomaly that is bringing them to access abortion care. Or there is a life situation that is happening for that individual that being pregnant at this time is going to be a challenge. And so they put up the premise that when a person goes into access abortion as care, there are all these factors that need to be considered. And we need to understand that we are looking to ensure that a person has everything that they need should they choose to parent. We are looking to ensure that a person can access an abortion without it being hindered by the state. And we're looking to ensure that as a person parents, there are not these things that will make it so that they are unsuccessful, like gun violence, like heavy policing, like the environmental concerns of having a plant in your community that would give your child cancer, which would cut short your ability to parent your kid.
Hmm.
And so they created this framework to include a way of approaching reproductive health care that centered the person, not the procedure.
And so, out of this framework, what I hear is this idea. You mentioned gun violence, you mentioned um, uh, environmental concerns. Has this played out in other, like, how are you seeing people for whom these kind of things are also playing out in their lives? Like, is the center, are you meeting people who are finding these kind of concerns as well? And how are you addressing them, or how are you looking at that?
Well, so our most recent client who came in, she was 44 and she already had a family.
Hmm.
And her statement was, I am not prepared to parent another child. I don't have the resources,
Hmm.
both in my physical person and financial resources. I don't have the kind of time because of all the things with the children that are already here. I don't have the kind of time commitment that I need, and I don't have the resources to get us a larger place to live. And so,
Yeah.
yes, with every person that is accessing care, all of those things are a factor, whether they are named or not. We often don't know them because we don't ask the questions. We
Mm.
don't make the decision to get to know the person as a human. We simply say, okay, so you need an abortion. How can I help you with that?
Right.
We don't get to know why. And the why, helping them solve the why, will also help them prepare for their response to getting an abortion and it gives us information so that we can give them tools so that they don't have to become pregnant until they are ready to parent.
Yeah. How much, I mean, you also have a counselor on staff, is that right?
Yes, yes.
How much of the time that you're spending is really what you're talking about, which is providing education, other pieces of information? Like, can you say some about what? I know there's no two patients are the same, but just give people a sense of the trajectory as someone walks through the door, and how you address some of these wider concerns, or the whole person is really what you're saying.
So when a person comes in, the first priority is to make sure that we protect their information. So the volunteer admin person will give them the intake form to fill out. They hold that form so that the only person that sees that information is the counselor. And when they go to see the counselor is when there's this deeper conversation that happens where she's able to learn what brought them to us, what concerns they have, what is their plan, and how can we support them actualizing their plan.
Right.
And then if they tell us that they're not sure that they're pregnant, but they think that they are, we offer them a pregnancy test. Then we offer them a sonogram. And based on those two things, we are then able to have a further conversation about what do they want to do with this new information about them being pregnant. And based on that, we have a conversation about um, abortion, and we make sure that we tell them that while abortion is illegal in Texas, it's not illegal in the U.S. And so, in that environment, they can then decide, do they want to go someplace else? If they make that decision, then we just give them a list of options and they go and make the call and make the connection. Our follow up with them is to see what decision they've made and how can we support them. And when they return, to reach back out to us, or we will reach back out to them so that we can start the counseling with them. And we offer them 10 counseling sessions over 13 months.
Right.
And if they decide that they want to go through with the pregnancy and put a little person up for adoption, we work with them to establish a connection with an adoption agency. We have a couple of them now who can support them in that choice. So they will get counseling from us. We will be the point of contact on this side, and then we will help them engage and connect with that agency and support them as they do the paperwork and the home visits and all those kinds of things that are a part of that. If at any point they decide, okay, no, I don't want that. I want to do something else. Ours is simply to offer support, not to judge or tell them that they have to make a decision and stick with it. And finally, if they decide that they simply want to parent, but they are struggling with how to do that, we have resources where we can help them connect to support if they have housing concerns, or support if they are looking for, pantries, or how to get on Medicaid so they can get food support. If they need a provider, we have a number of providers, whether they have insurance or not, that we can refer them to so that they can begin to get the care that they need. And then we are simply here to follow up with them and make sure, as I said, that things are going well, and if there are hiccups, to journey with them until the completion of their 13 months with us.
That's beautiful. And how's it been going so far? How are you feeling?
So far, so good. Every new adventure is like the ebb and flow of life. I feel honored that I get to create something like this so that people can get what they need. I'm a strong believer in that. And I'm excited about the partners that we are making and the ways that we are able to expand our reach and let people know that we are here, not just for what we offer, but for what they need.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like the connections you're making and the web and the tapestry really you're building to hold people is really, I mean, in just 2 months is getting comprehensive but also deeply loving. It seems like every aspect of a person's one of the things I really notice is this when you said if they change their mind.
Mhm.
Welcome to freedom. Like we live in a world where you make up your mind and then that's it. And you go in this and just to say, I've created a space where when someone says, you know what, I want to do this, and you go, okay, here we go. I mean, that's grace to me. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and if they come in and they are really struggling and need some time, we have a decompression room so that they can listen to water or music or whatever they need to recenter so that they can go face the world.
Yeah.
Because this is a an aspect of their life. It's not their whole journey,
Hmm.
and it doesn't need to be something that trips them up so badly that they cannot go on with their life.
Life's hard enough. I mean, it's and the rise in the kind of way someone is treated, talked about, painted, whatever word you want to talk about for one aspect of their life, whatever that is. It's hard for me to listen to religious people
Yes.
glom on to one aspect and say that is all you are. It does not speak to me out of a religious place.
No, no, that is antithetical to who I believe the divine is, who I believe creator is, who I believe source is. And more importantly, it goes against what we were created to be. If
Mm,
if we were created to have need of each other, then how do you foster connection if all I have to offer you is condemnation?
yeah. And that it's you're living you're the center's embodying it. Just noticing
Yeah.
all the connections you're making. And I keep talking about the timeline, and part of it is your expertise and your excellence and your experience. But there's also sounds like something going on where you're making these connections quickly. The need is there, and you're finding that relationship. And I think there is something to be said when you see flourishing relationship between you and others, and with you and the divine, or and the people who are coming to you. That's a sign to me of that you're in the right place, that you're doing the right thing. So,
Yeah, I feel real good about what we're doing and what the possibilities are. And I feel good about what is happening as we are building these connections and expanding our advocacy and outreach, that it's really going to foster an environment where people are able to come in and feel like they can actually breathe
yeah,
and know that they're going to be held, loved, and cared for, and that it will make the kind of mark on their lives that hopefully will disrupt uh, the notion that everybody's in it for themselves, and that we truly can be a people that can support each other, care for each other, and there not be any hidden agendas or any ulterior motives. No, this is what I can do. I'm going to do that. And then you can go on and you don't have to come back to me and bow and check in and all of that. I want you to have your life.
yeah. So the question I know people are already having, I'm making them hang on to it, is what can we do to help? How can we support?
Wow.
And like, just be honest, just be real. Like, what is it the center could use?
So the main thing that we can use is resources.
Okay.
Um, it doesn't really matter how small or how large, it will all be used well.
Yeah.
The second thing is to start sharing who we are
Yeah.
with the people in your network. I ask at the end of every talk for the listener to commit to sharing who we are with at least 5 people,
Yeah.
so that people can know that we're here and that um, we're here to serve.
hmm And they may not know someone at that moment who needs it, but the whole point is saying, oh, there is a place like this that exists, and keeping it where you know where it is.
Yes, and don't think of us just as a place for abortion.
Right.
There are many people in this community I know who want a parent but are having struggles. We have a resource that can help them with miscarriage management.
hmm
We have a resource that can help them if they're looking to parent and are experiencing infertility. We have resources to support people who are grieving the loss of a pregnancy. So don't limit your thinking to this just being about abortion, because it's
Right.
not. We are wanting to support people along the reproductive continuum.
hmm
And so please use us as that kind of resource.
Beautiful. And yeah, I mean, it's it's got this it's got a great trajectory. I know people are really already asking about it, but one of the things you just said that really struck me is to come to us, and that it's all free. I mean, we didn't really mention that until now, but we live in a world where this kind of support and care, if you can find it at all, is
It's costly.
prohibitively expensive for many.
Yes, yes.
Many.
The 10, whether you come for uh, a support around an abortion, not just current abortions, but maybe you've had an abortion in your past, or you're looking to parent but having struggles along that path, or you just want to parent and maybe you need financial support or whatever. The counseling sessions, you get at least 10. You get to be a part of the groups that will be starting next month. And you get to have someone that you know is in your corner.
And that's why supporting us is so important. Deneen, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your work. It's just a joy to see the way this has grown under your leadership and your guidance and your care. It's really beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to what it can become.
yeah. Wonderful. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to this, our remote Tiny Pulpit Talk. We couldn't be happier to congratulate the Truth Pregnancy Resource Center and its Executive Director, Deneen Robinson. Check them out. Share this with your friends. You now have one of the easiest ways to tell 5 people about this. Copy the link, send it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and like it, give comments, let us know, and we're gonna have Deneen, or maybe Deneen and the counselor back at some time in the next few months to check in, especially about all those groups that are starting up. So Deneen, thanks again. Bye everyone, and have a wonderful day.
Bye. Thank you.